The village of São Martins, nestled deep within the Brazilian rainforest, was known for its rich history and vibrant traditions. Life there was simple, its people content with their routine and the security of their close-knit community. However, beneath the placid surface, a dark secret lay dormant, waiting for the right moment to emerge. It all began with a whispered rumor. An elderly woman, Dona Isabella, had fallen gravely ill, her condition inexplicably worsening despite the efforts of the village healer. As she lay on her deathbed, delirium took over, and she began to speak of things long forgotten, of curses and ancient rites, of blood and betrayal. Her family dismissed her ravings as mere hallucinations, the ramblings of a fevered mind. But the village priest, Father Miguel, was not so sure. One stormy night, as thunder rumbled and rain pelted the rooftops, Dona Isabella drew her last breath. Her final words, barely audible, were heard by Father Miguel: "The secret must stay buried, or we are doomed." The next morning, the village was shrouded in an eerie calm. The storm had passed, but a sense of foreboding lingered. Father Miguel, troubled by Dona Isabella's dying words, sought out the village's oldest records, kept in the church's basement. He spent hours poring over dusty tomes and brittle parchments, searching for any clue that might explain her cryptic warning. What he found chilled him to the bone. Hidden among the mundane records of births, deaths, and marriages was a journal, centuries old, written by one of his predecessors. The journal told of a time when the village was plagued by a series of inexplicable deaths. The villagers, desperate for a solution, turned to an outcast healer named Kitana, who promised to rid them of their curse, at a price. Kitana's solution was as terrifying as the curse itself. She performed a dark ritual, sacrificing a child to appease the vengeful spirits she claimed haunted the village. The deaths ceased, but the price was heavy. The village swore to never speak of the incident again, and the knowledge was buried, forgotten over time. Father Miguel realized that Dona Isabella's words were not mere delirium but a warning. The curse had not been eradicated, only suppressed, and now it threatened to resurface. He knew he had to act quickly to prevent history from repeating itself. Meanwhile, strange occurrences began to plague São Martins. Livestock were found mutilated, and a pervasive feeling of dread settled over the village. Children spoke of shadowy figures lurking in the forests, and the once joyous community gatherings grew tense and quiet. Father Miguel gathered a group of trusted villagers: Lucia, a young schoolteacher with a fierce determination; Carlos, a farmer with an unshakable faith; and Pedro, a reclusive woodsman who knew the forest better than anyone. Together, they vowed to uncover the truth and protect their village from the looming threat. Their investigation led them to the outskirts of the village, where the ruins of Kitana's hut still stood, overgrown with vines and hidden from view. As they approached, a sense of unease washed over them. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and the forest seemed unnaturally silent. Inside the hut, they found remnants of the old healer's life, herbs and potions, strange symbols etched into the walls, and, in the center of the room, a crude altar stained with centuries-old blood. As they examined the altar, a chilling realization dawned on them: the curse was tied to this place, and it was here that they would find the answers they sought. Father Miguel began to recite prayers, hoping to cleanse the hut of its dark energy. As he did, a cold wind whipped through the room, extinguishing their lanterns. In the darkness, they heard whispers, low and menacing, speaking in a language none of them understood. Lucia, clutching her rosary, felt a presence behind her and turned to see a shadowy figure, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent. The figure lunged at her, but Pedro, quick with his reflexes, swung his lantern, shattering it against the wall and setting the hut ablaze. The fire roared to life, illuminating the room and driving the shadow back. In the flickering light, they saw the full horror of their situation. The curse was real, and it was hungry for revenge. As the flames consumed the hut, the group fled, their hearts pounding. They knew that destroying the hut was not enough. They had to confront the source of the curse directly. Guided by the journal, they performed a ritual of their own, invoking the protection of benevolent spirits and calling upon the strength of their ancestors. In the dead of night, at the heart of the village, they confronted the dark force that had haunted São Martins for centuries. The battle was fierce, their faith and courage tested to the limit. But with the dawn came victory. The dark presence was banished, the curse lifted, and the village was finally at peace. São Martins slowly returned to its former self, the horrors of the past fading into memory. Father Miguel, Lucia, Carlos, and Pedro were hailed as heroes, their bravery ensuring that the secret of the curse would never be forgotten again. The journal was placed in the village archive, a reminder of the dark times they had overcome. But deep in the forest, where the ruins of Quitana's hut lay smoldering, a faint whisper could still be heard. The battle was won, but the war against darkness is never truly over. The villagers of São Martins knew this, and they remained vigilant, their faith and unity their greatest weapons against the unknown terrors that lurked just beyond the light.